8 days notice for Terrance McKinney. This is a short notice bout, and Drew Dober is no slouch, but though he is no slouch, he is on a little bit of a skid right now. 2-fight losing skid to Brad Riddell, unanimous decision, a fight where he dropped Brad Riddell. He hurt Brad Riddell on multiple occasions, and Islam Makhachev where he got smashed, arm triangled in the third round. But before that, AJ, Drew Dober was on a streak, man. 3 knockouts in a row over Marco Polo Reyes, knocked him out in the first round with punches. Nasrat Haqparast knocked him out in the first round with punches. You know how impressive that is over Haqparast, a great boxer. And Alexander Hernandez knocked him out in the second round with punches. So with that being said, my man, he's more or less matching, besides those 2 losses, that knockout streak, which is not nearly as nice, or is not nearly, I don't know what I'm trying to say there. Listen, brother, 4 knockouts in a row for Terrance McKinney. The man is on a streak that we have not seen in quite some time. This is one of the hottest UFC debuts we've seen, I feel like, in recent memory. So the point is, on 8 days' notice, can T-Rex Terrance McKinney come in and out-wrestle Drew Dober, outstrike Drew Dober? What's the game plan here for Terrance McKinney, my man? He's a plus 200 underdog, which I think should be very telling given how hot of a commodity he is right now. What is your take on this situation?
Man, I think his game plan is hit fast, hit hard, hit first. That's the big one. Keep Drew Dober at bay. Because can he out wrestle Drew Dober? I don't think so, man. Although Drew Dober has seemed to fallen in love with his hands.
Yeah.
When he's winning, he's striking. He's looking good. But he always has that wrestling in the back pocket. But again, I think he's going to need to pull that out against T-Rex Terrance McKinney, man. Because if you're looking to strike with Terrance McKinney, who's what? 2 inches taller than you, only a 4-inch reach advantage. I say only a 4-inch. That's a good 4 inches right there. But Drew Dober, he just needs to get back to his roots, man. This dude's been on a real rough skid, and I think it's more of a mental challenge for Drew Dober because we saw it in the Islam Makhachev fight. There was a point where I think it was the second or the third round where he's just staring up at the sky, just like, oh my God, what? I'm back here again. Back to where I don't want to be. And the same thing with losing the Brad Riddell fight, I think had a big loss, a big chip to his mental game. And if he can come in against the late fight replacement against Terrance McKinney, get the fight to the ground, get to where he wants it to be, make it a dog fight, a drag out. We're in deep water right here. I think it'll bode well for Drew Dober, and especially on paper when I see that T-Rex is a quick, replacement, 8-day replacement, whatever it is, you think instantly, I'm like, oh, Drew Dober, man, he's got the advantage right there. He's got, he's been prepping for this, but at the same point, Terrance McKinney just came out of a fight camp, bro. He just came out of the fight where he basically took no damage against, Faraz Zayam, where he got the first round rear naked choke finished, and he was putting it to Faraz. Now, can Terrance McKinney do that same thing against Drew Dober? It's going to be hard to tell. But like I said, you hit fast, you hit hard, you hit first, maybe get Drew Dober off of his game. I think that's a game plan for T-Rex. What do you think, Derek? How does he get this one done if he does?
Well, for Terrance McKinney, I think he has to get it done early. I think that's the way to get it done, especially on the short notice. I'm not going to say that cardio is going to be an issue for him, but let's look at the last 5. First round finish, first round finish, first round finish. Literally all 5 fights have been first round finishes, right? So it's like, if you don't need to take it there, why take it there in the first place? But with Drew Dober, he's a little tougher than that, my man. The thing I was surprised about, and I guess I shouldn't have been surprised, but when you think Drew Dober, I guess it's because, look at the face on the man. Look at the headshot for those who are watching right here. The man looks like a male model. This is like the Luke Rockhold of the lightweight division right here. And I say that to say that I was a little surprised to see his UFC record is 9-7 with one no contest. The man has been fighting for a long, long time in the highest promotion, the best promotion in the world. So take that and leverage that. So 23-11 with one no contest. That is what? 34 fights, 35 plus that no contest. I guess if you count that, you're not supposed to. But 35 fights versus 15 fights. So literally he has over double the fights that Terrance McKinney has. That has to count for something, right? Fighting Islam Makhachev and not getting finished until the third round. I say that. It's like, well, you didn't get finished till the third. You still got finished, but not till the third round. That's still impressive. I do think that Terrance McKinney is going to be faster. He's going to be slicker, but I think Drew Dober is going to have a lot of heart. He's going to have a lot of pop in his shots, and he's the more explosive athlete, in my opinion. Now, earlier, AJ, I said that, and it's a different type of explosiveness, what I'm saying this. But earlier, I said, will McKinney be able to out-wrestle Drew Dober? Let's not forget, McKinney, he wrestled at Notre Dame, brother. He was like a legitimate collegiate wrestler, like legit. Drew Dober, no, he's a Muay Thai fighter, got some jiu-jitsu. But the way that Brad Riddell, when he was so deep having to fight for his life to get in on the hips of Drew Dober, just goes to show the man knows how to stuff a takedown, kind of, you know what I mean, depending on who he's fighting. So I do think it'll be harder on Dober's side to stop the wrestling of McKinney, but can McKinney on 8 days' notice have that same wrestling output? You know what I mean? What happens if it goes 3 rounds? That's my big caveat, because last time we saw McKinney go 3 rounds, I believe it was a Dana White Contender Series bout, which he lost on that one. And let's just say he tended to fade over the course of those 3 rounds. So let me just look it up one more time just to make sure that we're correct on here. And what do we got? Okay, so it looks like it won't let me zoom like scroll down on this one, folks. But when I am looking at it, this was against Sean Woodson, and he got finished in the second round. So it didn't even go 3 rounds right there. He ended up getting finished in the second round because he just started to fade over the course of that. So I just need to see the battle-tested nature of Terrance McKinney. And if he could be Drew Dober, brother, you're literally fast-tracked to – there's no way you can't be in the top 15 after at least one more fight. However, like I said, it's more slicker – more faster, longer Terrance McKinney, more explosive, a little more strong hips and heart and grit, I think, for Drew Dober, who is in a must-win situation right here. Southpaw versus switch fighter. Who do you like on this one, brother?
It's hard because I like Drew Dober in this fight on paper.
Yeah.
I really like Drew Dober. I think he has the skills to get it done, but does he get it done? I don't know, man. I'm rolling with Terrance McKinney on this one. I think McKinney's going to be able to stop the takedown, stop the pressure, kind of hit Drew Dober at places he hasn't really seen before and get the KO. Now, that being said, I'm rolling with the underdog again on this one. So it might be something that the odds makers aren't really seeing or are seeing that I'm not seeing. But I'm taking the underdog in Terrance McKinney. I'm taking the short notice replacement. But I agree with you, Derek. If this gets to the 3rd round or even the 2nd round, we're going to see Drew Dober kind of start to outpace Terrance McKinney and start really get going. So this one's a long shot, but I do see a lot of value in that live underdog because homeboy has some hands, he has some feet, he can get the KO, especially on a Drew Dober who's kind of in a slump right now. Now, not really feeling himself. He has a lot of wins, but almost 500. This is a must-win fight for Drew Dober, and I think the pressure might get to him. So like I said, man, I'm taking Terrance McKinney. I'm taking a round 2 knockout, an early round 2 knockout. I don't know if that's the over or under, but if I had to guess, I'm saying it's the under. I'd say, 2.5? What is it?
1.5, brother.
1.5. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm taking the over. What is that? No, I'm still taking the under. I'm still taking the under because an early round 2 finish.
Okay. So, yeah, to go over 1.5 rounds, you have to pass 7 minutes and 30 seconds. So that could be early in the second round right there. I will say for Drew Dober, man, I wanted to mention this statistic. He's on his first losing streak since the 2013-2014 kind of years on that one. He's 6-4 in his last 10, and 3 of those 4 losses have come via submission. So if Terrance McKinney has a good shot to get the submission, I think it has to come early because I don't know if he'll be able to notch it late. You know what I mean? Makhachev was able to do it, but Makhachev is a different animal. However, AJ, I'm going to go with the experience in this one. I'm going to go with the man who has a full fight camp. I'm going to go with the man who has actually been training to fight a grappler in Ricky Glenn. He's had a whole entire fight camp for a grappler. So I don't think that he will be surprised by any of the wrestling or any of that stuff by Terrance McKinney. I'm rolling with Drew Dober. I'm taking the over, and I'm going a decision victory right here. I think this will be the first time Terrance McKinney sees 3 rounds in his career. Drew Dober, on the other hand, he has 7 decision victories, my man. So I'm just rolling with the experience, rolling with the man who is a little more prepared for the moment. I love the 8 days notice. I love the mentality of McKinney, but I just listen, man, I think sometimes those are great opportunities to jump in on short notice, and sometimes, you got in there again, and maybe you shouldn't have. We'll see what happens. It's kind of like Renato Moicano, right? It's like very valiant. You won some fans, but you lost the fight. So what does this mean? You got a bonus, or he actually didn't even get a bonus. So they'll just lose on that one. Fun fight, folks. So yeah, I'm going over on that one.